Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence. Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing well. So the brand that we're going to be talking about today is called Precious Liquid. And in this video, I'm going to be ranking them the top 5. And I'm also going to let you know which ones I think are the least appropriate to the most appropriate for the summertime. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on these fragrances, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin this video on my top 5 favorites from the company Precious Liquid, the brand only has 5 at the moment, but I am going to be ranking them from the one that I think is least appropriate for the summertime to the most appropriate. I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, if you like top lists just like this, but also reviews, giveaways, unboxings, and more, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. And while you're at it, please leave a like down below for the YouTube algorithm. I would really appreciate it. So before I begin this video, I do want to mention that if you are interested in sampling my top 3 from the brand, you may do so at maxaroma.com. They are part of my bundle for the month of May. I'm going to leave the information down below. And if you have the top 3, you are set for the summer. I really enjoyed this brand. It's a very affordable niche brand. They have a wide array of different fragrances. They have a rose offering. They used to have a vetiver offering. They have a Neroli offering, a Mandarin offering, so on and so forth. And you'll see, just because there is a lot of citrus going on in these fragrances, in my opinion, they're really appropriate for the hotter months. And so I can see the number 1 and 2 fragrances on this list being used interchangeably, just because I think they're both perfect for the summertime. One is a little bit more casual, one is a little bit more formal. But with that being said, let's just go ahead and dive into the list. So the perfumer for this fragrance is Richard Herpen. This is his brand, by the way, and he's done everything from Tom Ford's Oud Wood. I'm going to leave his Fragrantica profile down below so you can really check the wide array of fragrances that he's composed. But the first one is called Rose Blanche. Now, whenever I think of rose, I think of the springtime, flowers in bloom, and the rose that's in here is a very soft, subtle, and subdued rose. It's not overly jammy, but it smells so natural. And it has that floral tonality, but you can tell there's also like a spicy kick to it. I'm not quite sure where it's coming from. I actually didn't look up the note breakdowns for any of these fragrances. I perhaps did a few months ago, and some notes registered, but in this fragrance, it's a very soft and soft-spoken rose fragrance. Subtle, but very gentle, very tranquil, very serene. And I personally enjoy wearing this one in the springtime. And so it kind of puts me in that mindset. So I'll wear this again a few times in the spring. I'm certainly looking forward to wearing the top 2 just because I love the way that they smell in general. But Rose Blanche is a great fragrance for the springtime, especially if you're a fan of natural smelling rose fragrances, especially ones that veer a little bit on the spicy side. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is called Vanilla Orchid. So obviously this combination of orchid and vanilla is in this fragrance. And this is a very smooth, silky, and again, subdued vanilla that you're going to get in here. One of the things that I love about these fragrances is that they're a bit on the simple side. So they're not overly complex. You're not going to get anything with any rough edges. Everything is polished and put together very peacefully and very professionally. And in this fragrance, I think the reason why I enjoy this one and why my wife kind of likes this one too is because there's almost like this lactonic presence in the fragrance. And so it kind of has like a bit of a coconutty appeal. And I think that's one of the aldehyde C18 or C13, I forget which one it is, but it kind of gives off that vibe to me, where it smells a little coconutty, but you have the vanilla in here. You have this floral tone in the heart. And so it's a really nice combination of the florals and the vanilla. But if you are a fan of those sort of tropical and exotic smelling vanilla coconut combination fragrances, I think you'll really enjoy this one. I'm personally a fan of Vanilla Orchid, and it's one that I can see myself wearing in the hotter weather too. And like I said, a lot of these are geared towards the hotter weather, in my opinion. Now, the number 3 spot goes to Neroli Musk. And Neroli Musk is this fresh, citrusy, neroli, bergamot, petite grain type of a fragrance. There's also something woodsy about this one as well. I think it might have a little bit of sandalwood in here. And this one, of course, if you're a fan of fragrances like Neroli Portofino or 4711, If you know what Neroli smells like, chances are you are going to like this one. But the fact that it has this clean and slightly powdery white musk thing going on in the base, it kind of reminds me of Creed's Pure White Cologne, just a little bit. This is totally unique. It is its own fragrance, but that's kind of a description to put you in the mindset of what this fragrance smells like. So it's very clean, it smells professional, it also gives off a bit of a casual vibe. I think the Rose Offering gives off a little bit of a formal vibe, maybe even like a flirty vibe. I think the vanilla one gives off a bit of like a tropical vibe, maybe like vacation vibes. This one is definitely fresh, straight out the shower, also very casual, very professional as well. You can wear this in an office environment. If you're a fan of citrus-based fragrances, I would definitely check this one out. I think it's a really solid offering from the company. And a lot of these fragrances all of them use a great deal of natural ingredients as well. And so just another thing that I wanted to communicate about the brand in case you didn't know. So this one is Blue Agave. Now, I gotta be honest with you, I think this can be worn interchangeably with the #1 fragrance on this list, just because this one is my personal favorite from the brand. It has that agave note in here. It smells very smooth, but then there's like this salty overtone. So it kind of has like this oceanic tonality about it. You also have a little bit of like that clary sage driftwood thing happening in the base. So it's a little woodsy. It's very professional. It smells like a very clean, very well-groomed gentleman. It just has a very polished demeanor about it. And that's one of the things that I love about Blue Agave. So if you're buying it thinking, okay, I'm gonna smell like the agave plant, I mean, this one is probably one of the more complex offerings from the brand, just because it goes in a few different directions, right? It kind of has that aromatic touch, but then it gets woodsy and then it gets salty. So it kind of goes in a few different directions. But I love this one. I think that salty nuance with the driftwood puts me in the mindset of summer. And this is perfect if you're looking for the type of fragrance that you want to wear in an office setting, if you're working in a cubicle, or if you're around a lot of other people and you basically want to smell good, you want to be noticed for your aroma. This is the type of fragrance that I can certainly see you getting complimented on. And so I personally love Blue Agave, one of my favorite offerings, probably my favorite offering from the company, Precious Liquid. And these two are in my Max Aroma bundle, as is the #1 fragrance on this list. Okay, I love this one. So this one is Mandarin. So with Mandarin, you're gonna get this very bright, citrusy, effervescent thing going on in here. There's a little bit of like this fruity sweetness, and I think that that's coming from the rhubarb. So it's sweet, it's fruity, it's fresh, it's citrusy. At times, it kind of puts me in the mindset of like Falling into the Sea by Imaginary Authors. So if you're familiar with that fragrance, and I own that fragrance, so I love that bright, fresh, citrusy thing going on in here. The rhubarb almost kind of gives it like this strawberry vibe. I know it's a very weird way of putting it. But then you also have this woodsy thing happening in the base to really secure the longevity of the fragrance and contribute to the long lastingness of the composition. But again, if you want to smell very fresh, clean, citrusy, very lively and effervescent, the perfect fragrance for the summertime. And that's the thing with me, whenever I think of citrus dominant fragrances, I always think of something that caters itself for the hotter weather. Same thing can be said about salty notes in fragrances. If it's aromatic to a certain degree, if we're talking about like clary sage or something like that, which is contained in one of these fragrances, I do personally find that these fragrances are geared towards the hotter weather. I can probably see Vanilla Orchid being enjoyed all year round. And then of course, in the case of Rose Blanche, I can see that one being enjoyed on like a date night, sensual evening, if you're going to spend the night out with a significant other, your partner, so on and so forth. But in any case, we have a few different notes here. I hope you took something of value from this video, and a wide variety in these fragrances. If you are interested in getting the Max Aroma bundle for a discounted price until the end of May, I'm gonna leave a link to it down below. It includes an 8 ml travel atomizer of the top 3 fragrances in this list. fantastic fragrances for the summertime. And again, these are really affordable niche fragrances, and the perfumer Richard Herpen is nothing short of a genius. And so I'm gonna leave his information down below as well. Definitely check him out, check out his resume and his track record. But in any case, thank you all so much for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you took something of value from this video. If you did, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. Leave a like down below if you liked this video. I would really appreciate it. And I'm excited to see you in my next video. Thanks again for watching. Love you all. We'll see you soon. Bye.